The show is It's Electric. Our guest is Robert Trujillo. We are on a journey through his mind, and we have arrived at Jaco Pastorius, who's been a significant artist in your life, obviously through your whole career, but also in the last 6, 8, 10 years with a movie that you produced and put together. Tell us all about Jaco.
Well, Jaco is obviously an amazing bass player, but he's also an incredible composer. I saw Jaco perform 4 times from 1979 till about 84 or so.
All in Southern California?
Yes. The first time I saw him was at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium, and that's pretty much where I grew up.
Of course.
So seeing him at our local venue with Weather Report, it really blew my mind, because back then you didn't have the internet, so you'd hear about these incredible bands or musicians, and sometimes you didn't know what they looked like, you know? It was just like, when I first heard Eruption by Van Halen, I'm like, what is this? I didn't know what instrument it was. I could not figure it out. And that was the beauty of it. I didn't know what this guy looked like. It was the same thing with Jaco. It had the same exact effect on me that Van Halen with Eruption had on me, except it was the bass, which was really exciting. And at the time, I don't even think I was really playing bass, you know.
Was he the one that was most directly responsible for you gravitating towards bass?
I think he was definitely one of 2 or 3. You know, Geezer Butler would have been up there too from Black Sabbath. The fact that Jaco had this really incredible edge and attitude beyond his playing and his sound, which was very unique because he played fretless bass at the time, and so the bass would growl, and he'd do these solo compositions. But live, he would go he'd do this solo, and he would actually break into Third Stone from the Sun by Jimi Hendrix with distortion, and it was just incredible. So here's this fearless guy doing flips on the stage, and I remember he slid into his bass like he was sliding into home plate.
Wait, how do you slide into your bass?
He had baby powder on the stage, and he took a running start, and he had his bass. His bass was the bass.
Will you do that one night for me?
If you let me. Okay. And he slid into that thing, and I was like, this guy is cool.
Wow.
And he looked like one of the surfers in the neighborhood over at, Venice and Santa Monica, where I grew up. And I ended up becoming great friends with Johnny, his eldest son, and his daughter, Mary Pastorius.
When did you decide to do the movie and to go on that whole journey?
When I first met Johnny, one of the first things I said was, someday you got to make a film about your father to share the legacy, because I already knew that Flea was a huge fan and so many different types of musicians. And I don't just mean jazz musicians. I mean, I'm talking about like metal guys and punk guys and rock guys, gospel guys, all these different players. And he was like, yeah, we're going to do it. And and so a couple years would go by, and he said, yeah, we're coming to California, man. I want to talk to you, and all this. And then 2 years later again. And then finally, they came to see us actually in Fort Lauderdale. And so that kind of, led to me getting involved in wanting to help, and then eventually really adopting the project, taking it on as a producer, and it turned into my child. So
right, that it did. I've watched from near and far over the last 6, 8 years. Watch you put this amazing thing together. Anybody that's out there listening, the great docs of our lifetime are just interesting stories about people, about relationships, about their diverse life and so on. And this is an amazing film that Robert put together, and I watched you bleed.
Yeah, literally.
Bleed for years. And I'm very proud of what you did with that film.
Thank
so
you.
Anybody out there, check it out. Available on iTunes, anywhere.